What up, y'all? I'm L. Dot, and this is the Watch Me Work podcast. Stay tuned.
Así es. Yo, escucha. Mírame trabajar como tigre, tengo propósito. Así pues yo me liberé de la esclavitud. Y dentro de la mente hay una actitud del orgullo negro, hay poder en el espíritu. Santo Dios, yo me voy pa'lante. Como elefante, sé que yo soy tan grande. No puedes pararme, prego con mejorarme. Nadie puede asustarme, yo vengo a armarme. Así pues, tú no quieres problema. No llores que venceré este sistema con excelencia negra, inteligencia negra, elegancia negra, todas son nuestras, sí. Tú no quieres problema, estamos trabajando con nuestra bandera, con excelencia negra, inteligencia negra, elegancia negra, todo está negra, sí.
It's time, AP.
Welcome to the Watch Me Work podcast. It is your boy Adonis with two eyes, Mr. Watch Me Work himself. Sitting here with my brother, the Money Man Buddha Boo. What's happening?
Boo, what's happening?
And I got a special guest here today. One of my brothers that I met and did some radio with a few years ago, and I've been seeing this brother come up this whole time and everything. It's not from the beginning because he's been going a lot longer than what I've seen and everything, but the growth I've seen from this brother right here, from his lyrical style to his flow and to his business mind and everything, how he got things working. Look, let me introduce y'all to L. Dot.
Man, salami, eggs, and bacon, man. Appreciate y'all having me out here, yo.
Yeah, that's probably not gonna be in there. But what's happening, bro?
8 months, man, doing the family thing for a little bit.
Man, congratulations, man. Newborn, what is a little girl, right?
Little girl, loyalty right now, man.
Man, how far along is she?
What's today? Should be actually a month tomorrow.
So you still fresh up in there?
Yeah, I'm still fresh. We actually, moved into a new house.
Man, yeah, and congratulations, and bought a new house.
Yeah,
Making moves and everything and coming along.
I had to realize, man, that life is too short.
Mm-hmm.
The way that we living right now, we living to actually pass stuff on. So why not get stuff to pass on to the kids and stuff like that?
Man, you gotta handle that. Like you gotta do better. You gotta do better than what we were.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's an amazing mindset to have.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with being a teen, a young adult, this, that, and third. But at some point, you gonna have to grow up. You know what I mean? At some point, you gonna have to face life.
It's gonna slap you right in the back.
Right in the mouth.
That's an interesting statement right there. I guess I could just lead off with that, asking when it comes to the knowledge of money and the value of a dollar per se. What values or like connection do you have with money? How important is it to you? What's your view on it?
So, money is needed. Let's go ahead and break that down.
Right.
But is it something that we have to enslave ourselves and kill for? No, we just got to play smart. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
It's the same thing like spades, you know what I'm saying? We all heard the saying, like, you get what you put, you know what I'm saying, dealt your hand, and that's a real thing, you know what I mean? Like, we all don't get the Fortune 500 stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
But what you get is how you use it, you know what I mean? Like, if you using it dumbfounded, guess what you're going to wind up in some dumb scenarios.
Now you showing people, now you telling people, giving people away, our age around here when you use spades as a metaphor, these kids do not know how to play spades anymore. It's not part of the English household anymore.
My thing is, I'm embracing my age at this point, you know what I mean? Like, you want to understand, I've seen some stuff. Don't let my age fool you. I can still be 27, but I went through some experience, you know what I mean? Like, it's the experience that everybody went through. They got their own story. It doesn't make the age. You know what I mean? There's still 45-years out here.
Man.
So what type of environment did you grow up in? And
Southeast DC.
Southeast DC.
Yeah, so it was rugged.
I'm gonna segue off of that and keep it all in the same thing because it's still the same question. But I have to start it off. When did you fall in love with art?
Oh man, I was 8, elementary school, and I had this cassette tape Definitely telling my age on this part.
So break down what it is.
So I'm a hip hop artist, more lyrical. It doesn't matter the beat.
Okay.
It will get slaughtered. Let's just put it that way. So that's short and sweet part. So when I first fell into music, man, I had this In Vogue cassette tape.
In Vogue.
Man. And believe it or not,
talk about Diddy right now.
Man, believe it or not, I wanted to sing first. So
No,
I
that's
had,
unbelievable.
right. So I had I had this family member that was like, "Nah, singing's gay, this, that, and that."
Yeah.
So I'm a kid at this point, so I'm like, I got to figure something to release whatever I got going on. And I just turned it into lyrics, and then I was in the lunchroom one day, and they just started beating on the table. I said, "Yeah, this is me," because I you know what I'm saying? Like it makes my blood boil, like of excitement, like.
So it was a natural.
It was natural, man. Like, and I was always a bookworm, so it was easy for me to articulate different words and know how to bend them.
That's
You know what I mean?
And explain. So, like, I know I hear some, like, a lot of things that you put out in your music. I know one you talked about, the baby girl, which we'll get to at some point.
Yeah.
But being able to express yourself, I know you express a lot of your upbringing. You express a lot of where you came from and what you experienced and everything by having that talent naturally at 8 years old. Is that like your everyday experiences? What are some of the things that you went through? And like Blue asked, what are some of the things that you went through that created your atmosphere and created your thought behind your art?
So, let's try to keep it quick. So I was a battle rapper when I first started, and then when I came out here, I was like, I was tearing it. I was just tearing it up, right? So I got married at the time, and I didn't know anything too much about family because when I came out here, it was just me.
Okay.
So I always wanted the whole family ordeal, like the whole picket fence and all that other stuff.
Man, why do we want that?
I mean,
we want that?
That's just something that we've all seen, like television, and paint that in your head. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, is it something that you really want? We'll get into that.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? That's something that I really admired, was just to have my own place of peace.
Yeah.
So
at least that.
Right. So when it came down to the first marriage, it was either I put music down or start a family. So I put music down for 10 years flat.
How old were you?
I was
when you got married.
Early 20s.
Like, what was that effect on you to drop it for 10 years?
It was an effect. Like to keep it a buck right now, music saved my whole entire life. And what I mean by that is, after I stopped doing music, I was in and out of jail. I was always reckless, like ready to fight, like whatever the case may be. It was like the thug in me came.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Like during that process, I went through a deployment, lost a couple soldiers, lost my daughter in the process, in and out of relationships, and it got to one point, like especially after I lost my daughter, it was like, who am I at this point? You know what I mean?
I heard in the song how you said that you asked yourself pretty much that, and how that made you put down the thug life.
Yeah, it did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta realize, like, I'm not ashamed of what I went through because I never would have had nothing to talk about.
Right.
You want to learn nothing.
I would have learned nothing.
The way that you needed to learn.
Especially surviving it. You know what I mean? Like, with me surviving it, and then we're in this world right now that's we all we got. I have to look at that in a whole different spectrum. We all we got, and I done figured out how to get out of life. Why am I gonna hold it from you? You know what I mean? Like, that makes no sense. That's just putting you down.
Right.
Like, I'm no less than the other person that's telling you ain't shit.
Right.
I'm solidly telling you that. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I kind of put the music into play, because it's like, it's more than just music at this point. It's a guideline.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's who you are.
Like, this is what I live, and this is how I got out of it. Maybe it'll help you.
So you say that's what make you passionate. That's your passion behind your art.
It does. You know what I mean? And you got to think, like, we live a world of music. Think about every movie that you went through, every situation that you went through. The first thought in your mind is the theme song for that scenario.
Yeah.
Anytime. Music runs everything. You know what I'm saying? It speaks what we can't even talk out.
Music is that one art form that can make you really, like, take you way back to exactly how you felt when you first heard it. You know, you hear it all the time, but it's true.
And that's the thing. Another artistic side about music is the actual sound
of it.
Yes.
The frequencies of it, and you can actually change the frequency of a certain sample beat or whatever.
A certain
just
beat can change your mindset.
Voice, your voice and your emotion into that, and that's just a part of
that is, and you know what I mean. And depending on the emotion at that time, is how the lyrics are going to resonate with that person.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's even songs that I put out now. I hear it one time, I'm like, all right, it's cool, this, that, and third. Later on down the line, I hear that same song. It's a totally different meaning. You know,
different meaning.
Now, mind you, I wrote it, so it's like. It does play a part if you really think about that stuff because people can't talk. I was one of them people. Like if it wasn't music, I was a church member. Like I ain't no reason for me to be speaking to nobody. That was my mental. But the music helped me grow to say, you know what, you do gotta talk. You know what I mean? But it can't just be music though. It gotta go both ways.
It gotta go both ways because there's people who don't like music and don't listen.
Exactly.
You know, and it takes a different way to be able to get through to them and get them to see that you're trying to communicate with them.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just gotta figure out how to get through them. You know what I mean? Like Earth ain't bad. Let's just keep it up. We're jacking up Earth. That right there. You know what I mean? Like you always want to look like how can you be the next big thing, regardless of the fact of whatever it is that you're going through. How you do that is all in your character.
Right.
That, first and foremost, ain't nobody gonna take you serious if your character is jacked up.
Right.
That's facts.
Right.
So. You know what I mean? When I went through this whole journey, I had to learn, okay, this is what I want my character to be. My character for me is, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, I want to be uppity, this, that, and third, be able to talk to people, this, that, and third. Okay, how can I do that? I have to practice it in my craft at that point.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's any doctor. If a doctor wants to be the best doctor in his field, he has to learn how to practice it in his field.
Right, get hands-on.
And that includes his character. He got to be able to be trustworthy tested. When he comes to his clients.
Got to be tested in the moment to know that you're able to handle the gravity of the situation that's going on. So with all of that, what was the first song written and put out by you with like describing these, or that started everything for you, that solidified everything in you, like, yeah, this is life right here?
So I was in a motorcycle club, right? And at this point I didn't.
What kind of bike you inside the bar?
Oh, it's a booster. It was a booster, twin rail guns in the back. You know what I mean? Like it's stressed out. I still got it. I keep it as a momentum. You know what I mean? I don't drive it. No. But I started the club, and there was a couple people that knew that I battle rap at the time, but I put the pin down at this point, and they was like, you know, in order for you to join, you got to make us a theme song.
What?
You know, so I'm thinking like, all right, you know, my brain just like at this point, I ain't touched the pen in years, so like, I don't know how this gonna pan out.
So do you take that as them using you, or do you take that as a sign that it's time for you to pick it back up?
At first I did, and then at that second time it was, okay, maybe you needed that stretch.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't the simple fact that, you know what I mean, I didn't want to do it. It was just, how can I go about it? And then once I figured it out, like now that I'm looking at it, it's like, they pushed me there. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like they did it intentionally. It was something in my path that brought me back to that. You know what I mean? Otherwise it was, you know, looking at it now, when I wasn't having the music, I was just out there, just practice.
Yeah.
But now with me having music, it's like, okay, now I gotta think different. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing against anybody else that think wild and buck, hey, do you. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole purpose of the world being balanced.
Right.
Somebody gotta be chaotic in order for it to be balanced out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Do that, but just be cognitive.
So what was that first song?
Black King's Anthem. That was the name of it.
Black King's Anthem.
Black King's Anthem. And then once I crossed over, I did another one right behind it. I was like, oh yeah, this is it. At that point, I was like, this is it. I'm going straight to rap now.
You got a couple bars from that first one that you could put in there that stand out to you?
I don't remember none of that. You tell me now. Like that was years. That was, I want to say 2015.
That's when I moved here.
You stayed consistent with it.
After that, yeah, I stayed consistent. I did, my first album was more like storytelling, more like getting my pain out.
Right, you know what I mean? Like,
the name of the album.
The name of the album.
A society's product. So it was an 8 project, you know what I'm saying, just pretty much like what I was feeling at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like it was mainly dark. Like if you was to ask me any song on there, I probably couldn't tell you because I'm no longer dark. So I can't even think about it.
Man, and when you said that 2015, that's when I got here. So I did come around. I did meet you right when you got right back into it and everything. So okay.
So I like to take a little sidetrack too, but still on the artistic side.
Okay.
You said 2 things that really stood out to me so far, and it's one, getting back to the pen after the 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's breaking a barrier. While remaining an artist, and then being self-aware.
Right.
Like you said, I'm not dark anymore. You feel me? You realize you had a moment in your time where you were at a point where it was dark. You probably wasn't really dark, just your situations, but you had that ability to break the barrier and know that this isn't right for me. Where does that come from? And
it literally came from being consistent. Like, you know what I mean? Like with art, you got to think about it. At some point, people run out of what they want to talk about.
Right.
I think that's where I am right now.
You know what I mean? Like at that point, that's where you got to start looking at, okay, what can I talk about me? You know what I mean? Like, forget the art at this point. What can I do in the art to talk about me so that way it registers to me alone? It's going to register to somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? But take that art, flip it to put it to yourself.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because you got to be the first one to hear it.
Like basically talking to yourself?
Talking to yourself. Like there was a song that I did, and that's when I knew it was my peaking point. The song was called Whoever It Hurts. The way that it went from dark to light, I feel like for me that's my best project. And the reason being is because I let everything on the table. I don't care who I heard at that point.
Right.
This is about me at this point.
Right.
So from that, you know what I'm saying, from that single alone, that's what made me was like, okay, now I'm able to talk about anything because you can't tell me nothing about me now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
You already
I already know I was a hothead. I done seen a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna tell you what I seen. But at the same token, what I seen, do I want to go that route?
Right.
Nah, I don't. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the song, I said something on the lines of, I don't want to put my kids on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
So if I don't want to put my kids on a T-shirt, I'm going to say what I need to say. I don't care who it hurts at this point. So that's how the whole project came with that.
Okay.
Man.
But after that, man, it was just like growth. I started seeing the world different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It took me getting deployed to see the world different.
yeah, deployment, you'll see that.
Man.
You'll see that every part of the world runs different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when it comes to working on your world, because there's the world and then there's your world, it's going to be different. You know what I mean? Like my mindset, your mindset is always going to be different. Think about it.
A different prescription, man.
And peep this out. I'm gonna take it even a deeper aspect because we all learned this shit in school. Well, excuse my language. We learned this in school.
No,
remember that?
You could cuss.
Remember that the brainstorm web?
Yeah.
Think about it. That's how the world works. You know what I mean? Like
Hey,
everybody's gonna have their differences. Everybody's gonna have their differences in the bubble.
Right.
But there's a common denominator that everybody can agree on.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Every single time.
And let's use it for example. Life can be fucked up. We can agree with that.
Yeah.
But how it is for you, that's totally different.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we gotta figure out what works for us to get through that stuff. But with the common denominator, we can all agree on this what works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's how I look at it. Like we learned the stuff in school, they just never applied it to what it was for. You know what I mean? They said, okay, in order for you to write a paper, you gotta do a brainstorm. No. In order for you to understand how life works, do a brainstorm paper.
Brainstorm paper.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, this is what it is for me. This is what it is for them. This is what we agree on.
And that's a good tool.
Yeah.
That's the kind of gems that dropped on here, man. Like different tools.
Drop a couple now.
I got so many, man. Like, I used to be, I'm gonna give you one more gem. I mean, like, I used to be a mechanic heavy. Like, motorcycles, cars, this, that, and third, blah, blah, blah. You're a mechanic, right?
Yes, sir.
So, let's flip this real quick. If you think about it on this spectrum, cars, bikes, whatever the case may be, you got your own make, you got your own model, you got your own year, and so on and so forth, right? That determines what kind of bike that is.
Right.
You're going to have what's called a replica, but it's not going to drive the same. Now let's put that in life. You're going to have the different people, different makes, different models, different years.
Yes.
You're going to also have what's called a twin, but either twins are not going to drive the same because they're going to ride different.
Right.
So your engine is your brain. That's what gets everything moving. So if you don't know how to mechanically troubleshoot your brain, you're always going to be lost in stuff.
That's part of deep reflection and just they call it shadow work, when you
Shadow
sit
work.
by yourself and break
Meditation.
down you feel me?
Yeah.
Another form of meditation.
That takes solitude and a lot of things. You got to be at peace too. And
Yeah.
war and peace. It has to be
It
a
was
A little bit of both
Like,
because the war part
yeah.
is testing the parts that you're working on.
Right.
And
Yeah,
everything.
the peace part is you actually, how can I, what the questioning of yourself.
Right.
You feel
So I'm glad you said that because my fourth album was when I started all this shadow work, right? So it was, matter of fact, it was right.
Gotta drop names.
It was, so this was like right after we did the other podcasts and stuff
The radio
like that.
show, yeah.
So when we did that, you know what I mean? Like at that point, I wanted to get my own shadow work done.
Yeah.
So the song the album Back to Black, that was the whole purpose of it. The purpose of the song was me to go back into the dark to work everything that I needed to work out.
That's completely necessary.
Right.
Man, but that's some of the scariest stuff to do is when you gotta take yourself back, when you did everything you can to get up out of there. Now you have to freely and volunteer yourself to go into those dark places. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm talking about it. Going into that
They call that the
place.
crossroads.
But exactly, when you get a chance, check the album out. The first song, it starts with my mom's voice, right? And it says, son, I'm glad that you got out of the dark space, but you got to go back to black. You got unfinished business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was the whole purpose, because I know I had
tough.
unfinished
I
business.
don't know. Like,
That's tough.
Right?
That's hard.
I think I did it. I did it a long time ago.
Now, Pete Game, the album came out a month before COVID hit, right? So that tells you I've been working on the project, right?
Yeah.
So I was at a point when I worked on this album for 9 months. I didn't come outside. I'm in my house. I'm literally doing walk-arounds, my island.
I remember you talking about
that.
Yeah,
To get what I needed to get.
All he did was smoking right.
Smoking right, that was it. I just kept going like this for 9 months. I would wake up, pace around the house, and just write for 9 straight months. So I was in the house before COVID hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel that.
So when it came time, all right, I'm out, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 COVID hit. I gotta go back and do some more stuff now.
Yeah.
So I had enough time to do that shadow work. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like at that point, COVID was a perfect situation for everybody to do some type of shadow work.
Exactly.
But we were so wrapped up in the world.
in the
and
world,
stuff.
right.
You know what I mean? Like we forgot ourselves. We forgot our own world. So I took that time. Like
You took advantage of it.
I took advantage. I ain't got nothing else to do at this point.
Right.
So now, you know what I mean? Like I done got to that point. COVID's still here. I'm like, all right, now I'm ready to go outside.
I need to get this out here.
Exactly.
But to me, that's another sign that God and the universe was like, not yet.
Not yet. That's pretty much what it was.
Not yet. And that's how I feel about this podcast too, the whole thing. Not yet. And everything. And by that, if I would have did anything back then, the work that I would have put out, and I looked at it now from what I would have put out with what I had available to me, I wouldn't have been proud.
It would have fell short.
You know, I would have been proud of my efforts, but it wouldn't have been what I wanted it to be, like it is now. Like putting it together now, it's shaping up to be exactly what I want to be, and there's a lot of things that's being added on in the process,
Right.
and everything. So sometimes God will tell you, like, sit your ass down. And said,
You didn't want to hear me. All right, let me show you.
You feel like you did enough work. You feel like you're done working on this. You feel like there's nothing else left for you to do. But guess what? You about to sit down for 2 more years. There's a lot more to do. You just scratched the surface. You just got you to the point of you open and willing to actually explore those sides and everything. Now it's time to dig down deep and really
Dig deeper. Like every day, I'm thinking of some new deep quotes and stuff like that. Like wordsmith problems.
So producing and publishing and things like that all cost bread.
Yes.
And everything. So
Yes.
not trying to get in your pockets, but how do you maintain it? Are you self-produced, or do you have
No, I mean I dabbled in production, but I prefer like to get with different type of producers, like just to kind of show like I don't have a certain sound. Like I want that to be completely clear when it comes to music. I do different producers for the simple fact to let y'all know I don't just have one sound.
Which means producers. Which means producers running out here and shoot some stuff to them, because I'm pretty sure you've already been on Spotify or Apple Music or anywhere else you listen to your music at. I'm pretty sure you could type in L Dot and you can find him, find all his music and find all his work.
I think this is a good time to do the plug.
Oh man, yeah. So because I'm gonna get into it also, like plug in where they can reach you, where they can find you, get your work and everything, and you can go ahead and plug in Barlife, because we're gonna get into that next.
Yeah, you know that's that right
You
there.
feel me?
Got the merch already. Where can we get those shirts?
So I took a break, a hiatus for the kids, but they're coming back in the summer. It's going to be mostly tank tops, color tees, and I'm gonna try to get some shorts into play, because most people like shorts now. I don't, but you know, I'm more of a sweats. Yeah.
Where can everybody find you, reach you?
So if you have any type of social media platform, all you gotta do is just type in at the real L Dot, like regular English, TheRealLDOT, or I'm one of them people that really like to. It doesn't bother me, so I'm gonna put it out there. 240-755-9324. So that way, if you get lost for anything else, you can contact me on the hip. It doesn't matter. I'm a night owl. Just hit me up and say, yo, where can I find this? I got you. But for any music, you can find on Apple Music, Pandora, Tidal, Deezer, Rhapsody. Like, it's there.
Shows somebody who invest in a shit to make sure that you don't have any excuse not to be able to hear and listen to and take in what it is that he's trying to put out there too. You know what I'm saying? Anything you look up, YouTube, I bet you he there.
Trademark. My name is trademark. I spent a pretty penny on that. Let's keep it a buck. Like, it's a lot that I did with this brand. This brand is me, and you know what I mean. Like, the brand speaks for itself. Like, granted, it's Barlife, but it's an acronym.
Right.
So the acronym is be a real life influence for everyone. So anybody can be Barlife if you really think about it.
Dopest acronym. When he said that, I froze for a second and went to every letter in my head. Like, oh, that's one of the dopest acronyms I ever came across. That is dope. Be a real life influence for everyone. And I instantly remembered it when he said it too. So hashtag Barlife.
And when it first started, it didn't have an acronym, but I was like, I'm a wordsmith. I'm come up with something. So I always just had wore just hashtag Barlife. It had nothing on it. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I went to the Sefco in Nolanville, and it was 3 cops. Right? And it just came out of the fly out of nowhere. The cop was like, hey, I see that shirt. You do a lot of club hopping? I said, no, sir. I'm not even outside like that.
Right.
And so he was like, well, you know, bars is a street term for Xanax. I said, sir, let's keep it up. I didn't say that. I said, sir, I don't even like prescriptions. Like, why are you even talking to me like that? He was like, well, I'm just curious what it means. And it just came out. Be a real life influence for everyone. He looked at his partner, put his head down, and I walked off. I said, that's what it's going to be from here on out.
Be a real life influence for everyone. Remember that. That's the when I heard that and everything. Like, I was just getting to know him. Like you said, back in 2015, 2016, I was just really getting to know him and everything. But when he put out Barlife and told me what it meant and everything, I was an instant fan. Yeah. Like, I hadn't even heard any of his music yet, and I was an instant fan and everything because of what that acronym means and what it stands for.
Where can we find your music? Is it on you said YouTube,
YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, whatever device that you use, it's on there.
And how many albums do you have out on there?
Oh, make me count. So single albums I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4. One dual album, which was with my brother Menace, and
he's also dope.
He's part of our life. Like, I honestly wouldn't have grew without him, he was kind of like my spotter.
Man, wait till you hear the way they bounce off each other, they flow with each other. And even when they performing, man, when they perform together, it's like they give a real good show.
It is, and you know what I'm saying, like that's my brother for life. Like I never would have, you know what I'm saying, elevated the way I did without him. You know what I mean? And so with that, that's 4, 1, and then the rest is just mainly like singles. Like I'm working on an EP now. It's R&B now, so I'm kind of like converting over to the R&B stuff, and then after that, I'm linking up with actually it's a guy down the street. I just met him. So we're gonna work on like country rap. So he does most of the country stuff, and I'm just gonna go behind him.
Hey, you might as well get into it. Beyonce just broke it open again. Get in with your pen right now.
I'm literally trying to do what's called a metaverse. Like
you said metaverse.
Metaverse. Like every lyric that I do can go on anything that you put out.
That's hard, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
no matter
the genre, you can give me polka beats and I'll do something. You know what I mean? Like that's literally what my mindset is at this point.
But to be able to take whatever you spit and be able to put it over anything.
Anything. That's the whole mindset at this point. You can throw whatever you want to.
Man.
And bro's lyrics ain't no chump either. We was listening to you. On the way over here. I didn't even know it was anybody from here or anything like that. And I'm a very harsh critic when it comes to music. If I would like turn this shit off. But I was actually sitting there. It sounded really good. Production was good. The lyrics was good. The voice was good, and what you were saying was good. You feel me? It sounded good, and I wanted to hear more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me thumb through this real quick. You feel me? Like, usually it's good. So everybody, man, just check them out.
I mean, I put it this way: the way that I write, I want my mama to hear it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if my mama can't hear it, what's the point of anybody else hearing it?
So speaking of family and legacy and everything, your music and what you're doing with it and everything, what do you hope to build with it?
Well, so my daughter is into dance, so that kind of helps her out with stuff like that. And then my son, he's into dance, but now he's in the part to where he's writing. Yeah. So I kind of want to get him on a start foot.
So your son's the oldest, right?
No, my son's the youngest. The youngest. My daughter's the oldest one. She's 11. So.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So with her, she likes to use some of her stuff, some of my stuff with her dance, which is totally fine. You know what I mean? Like, but I want the actual brand, the Barlife brand itself. It's going to get passed down to the kids to whatever they see fit for them. Right. That's why it's called Barlife Music and More, because whatever they take it on is just an umbrella for them at this point.
That's real commendable too. With that, that's when it comes to generational wealth and doing something for your children, just putting them on game. That's something we didn't necessarily know about or know that we needed to know about it. Now that we're actually doing these types of things, we can teach our children, or they can even see.
Exactly.
You know, it's more than what they're teaching us in school. So,
speaking of which, go ahead.
Oh no, you good.
No, speaking of which, like he's one of the dopest lyricists. Too.
Okay, I'm definitely looking forward to listening and working. Like
not just him over there working on the camera. He's one of the dopest lyricists.
I like stuff like that.
My brother is one of the dopest lyricists I ever know and everything. So they're all artists, but and with you, bro, like break down what it is that is your art form right now when it comes to that market.
Oh man, dealing with the market is a whole different ball game. Cause I say the art form of it is really just like any other art form. When you're focused on something, you'll dedicate yourself, do the research. It's the only thing that runs through my mind. You know, we're doing this podcast right now, and I'm. You know,
it's in my pocket. You want to take the charts so bad.
You know what I'm saying? And it's something that I'm good at. You know, I've always had talent when it comes to like technical analysis and stuff like that. I was an F-16 mechanic.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Phase heavy maintenance and Air Force. You know, we had to use our brain a lot, and that's something that's something that I noticed as a little child. You know, I always had that, and that's how I know it's kind of an art form to me. You really have to break things down and make it you have to over complicate it for yourself because it looks over complicated. But when you start to learn and simplify it, and you're having fun, it's a passion, it's you're releasing something. You know, that's what the market is to me. You know, wake up, do it every day. I go to sleep, I'm on everything, man. Toilet, and with an art form, you know, you can be better. There, you know, there's a learning process. Every day there's something different. But me, I'm like, okay, I know I can be better. I know my talents. I need to know more. It's that need to know. Now I'm in a world where I know that there's so much that I don't know. So take that extra step of discipline and determination and figure it out. So I had to enroll and to get my bachelor's degree in economics. I'm in class right now.
Nice.
You know?
Congrats, bro.
It's a whole language and stuff like that. And whatever it could be drawing, because I draw too. You know, I like to draw. My niece, rap, music, and everything. You can apply that same basic principle. Well, it's not a basic principle.
Right.
Frustrating sometimes.
But you know, you can kind of create your life. You feel me? The person you are, and it's not only the art that you do. You are your own canvas, but you know what you've been through that created. You are the art.
Right.
And now all this stuff that you're putting out is just, you know, can be profitable or not profitable.
Not profitable.
I choose the profitable side,
right.
You feel me? Because I don't have any kids.
Right.
I don't have any, I got nieces and nephews, but I know one day I will.
Right.
You feel
You
me?
might as well set yourself
Yeah.
up.
And one day I'm gonna be up out of here, and even if I don't have kids, I got brothers, I got cousins, I got sisters. You feel me? I got beneficiaries.
Right, there you go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So is Barlife something that you'll be willing to put on the open market one day?
Oh, indeed.
Most
certainly. And the reason being is because I want people to have that mindset that anybody can be Barlife. And what I mean by that is all you have to do is just live it. Just be an influence to somebody. It don't matter who it is.
It don't have to be a whole bunch of people either. It could be one person.
It could be younger, older, same age, different gender. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, you're influencing them to do something better.
Man.
You know what I mean? And that's the whole key of the whole, you know what I'm saying, Barlife movement. You know what I mean? And that's what I wanted to touch on. Like, most of the music, yes, it's meant for everybody, but if you listen to it, there's a hidden message somewhere. You know what I mean? I always wanted to tell people that, like, granted, it might sound gritty. Granted, it might sound ratchet. But, like, even songs like Moving Sauce, which is one of my biggest club ones, it's still got a message in it. You know what I mean? And it deals with the message like, I move different. So you can't be a chick trying to talk to me thinking that's gonna fly. Like, shorty, I see how you move. I'm not with that. You know what I mean? So it's certain stuff that's in that song. Like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, it has some type of knowledge to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I never wanted to give something to somebody like without knowledge behind it. Like, granted, we can talk it, but at the end of the day, it's knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, and that's where I'm trying to take my music at, to be a better real life influence. You know what I mean? Like, just like with, which is a touchy subject for a lot of people, cops. If they be a real life influence for everybody, they'll be a better cop.
They'll be a better cop.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just facts. So it's all on what you do in your everyday life. Are you an influence or not? You know what I mean? Like, it's a brand that I present to the world. It's not just me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, granted, I started it this, that, and third, but at the end of the day, I want people to be like, dang, I want to be a real life influence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, regardless.
So
Now
do
when
you
they see it,
have?
it's gonna activate their mindset to want to be one.
So do you have any appearances, any shows, or anything going on in the near future where people could catch you?
So I'm looking at Houston in July. Another video shoot coming out actually next week. We're actually gonna go to Houston. The guys flying from Atlanta to work on some stuff. I'm actually going to go to the East Coast in September. So I'll be mostly on the east side. But after after that, you know what I mean, like that's when I start booking. Like right now, I'm doing kind of like the family thing, kind of watching my daughter get older. You know what I mean, give her a few months, and the minute she started talking, I'm like, all right, mom, you got her.
So I got ideas of doing things like live performances and everything. There's a dude named Just Ali, and I can't remember exactly where he's from all of a sudden off the top of my head, but Just Ali. And one of the things that he do is like he'll have a band. And he will sell you with a link and everything to be able to come and just watch them live.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that's pretty dope to do. That's something in the future.
That's something,
and everything. Just like I have a live little 30-minute show and everything, and charge people like $10 or $15 for the link and everything. That way they can sit at home and still get a live show.
That's an interesting move. Yeah.
You know, and I got the camera for it now. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So I got the camera for it now. So I'm still learning about it and everything myself. Especially when it comes to this, I'm still learning when it comes. So once I get that down and everything, I got green screen and everything. Where we'll set up your background, how you want your stage, how you want it.
Okay. Yeah.
And everything too. So like in the near future, we're gonna go for that.
I got a couple songs that I want to unplug.
So like one more thing. So like tell us about the family life, man. Tell me about how that's been to you.
It's honestly different. So, and what I mean by it's different, like, so I grew up. So when I grew up, it was pretty much in a sense it was me, my mom, my sister. You know what I mean? Like always, like it was always just us. So I didn't really have like the big family, like, hey, I can call on this person, that person, this, that, third. When I turned 18, it went from that to shipping all the way to Texas to having none. So from going with no family for like 22 years, 21, 22 years, to now rebuilding one, like it's a lot of things that I had to relearn. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that that I realized that I took for granted. And on top of that, and what I mean by that is like, it's safe here. I know it's safe. You know what I mean? Because I created the safe space.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I'm out here in the streets and stuff like that, I gotta create a heavier safe space just for me to walk around. I shouldn't have to do that. You know what I mean? So I've learned that it has its moments where it's like, dang, I just want to be out the house. But then I look at it, I just look at everything that's just around me when I'm in the circumference of my home, and it's like,
you don't need to go.
I don't need to go nowhere. The excitement's here.
Got everything.
You know what I mean? Like I get my excitement watching my kids argue. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just real stuff.
That's amazing, bro.
Remember them conflicts that you the same
conflict. Like I went through this before.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Let them figure it out.
And it's one of them things, like I always preach on it, like when you're in your 20s, you're not gonna look at that because you're trying to get out of what you were into. Right. You know what I mean? Like without realizing that that's actually what you kind of needed to understand how a foundation works.
Right.
But we never are taught that.
Right.
Excuse me. We're always taught, and I'm going off subject here, but it's going to be deep. So we always were taught to stay at a child's place.
Right.
What is a child's place? The world ain't. The world is not a child's place. Like if you tell a child to stay in a child's place, that might be their room.
Right.
The world is bigger than that.
They might take
so you know what I mean? Like what if, you know what I'm saying, like you tell this child to stay in a child's place and you go on a vacation for like a week for like a business trip.
Right.
That child is no longer in a child's place at this point. That child has to understand what goes around his circumference and some real stuff.
So
you know what I mean? Like what I've learned during that whole process, and that's why I said that I've learned how to deal with my kids more, is that I have to teach them, like, you have to be a kid at this point.
Yeah.
It is my job for the next 18 years to tell you where you're doing wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? But other than that, you're going to explore, you're going to experience, you're going to try to figure out who you are. Like, right now, my daughter's 11, and she's trying to find her identity at this point.
Yeah.
I have to be able to accept that. Back then, we couldn't accept that.
At all.
You know what I mean?
You're going to be who I want you to be.
Right. We was our parents were doing more protecting, but in my mind, it was more enabling because when it came down to, okay, now you got to leave out the nest, you're still going to depend on mom and dad.
We came from the generation where they putting us out at 18.
18, you know what I mean? Like, and was that really jacked up? Yes, it was jacked up.
That's wild.
Because of the simple fact, I know nothing about what I need to do to stay out here.
I don't know how to pay no bills. I don't even know how to get my water turned on.
No.
I don't know how much I need to put on for a deposit to get a place.
Like when I got my first check and I saw a text, I said, "Why they taking this out?" Like I didn't know none of that. You know what I mean? Like I was mad.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? But now I understand how it works, and that's why I said, you know what I'm saying? Like it don't matter what kind of cars you get, just play it right. You know what I mean? Like I don't have like the most expensive bank account. Like I really don't care if I don't got the most expensive bank account. What I care about is how I'm treating everybody that's in my circumference. That is it. That is my riches. My riches come from them. You know what I mean?
So you just took it out of my mouth. Where you don't need to go out or anything like that. Like it's a monetary value that we kind of get caught up in. That is the world. But when you sit back and realize how rich you really are,
Right.
Like.
Especially experiencing deployment.
Exactly, that too.
Rich.
I mean, you gotta look at it, and this is a gem for everybody that's watching at this point. You know what I mean? Like, if money is the root of all evil, and people will die to get it, what are you doing to stay alive so you can get it?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you gotta change your mind on that.
I say that, and I'll put this out before, like if money is money, if money is your motive, is your ulterior motive, then you already lost.
You already lost. You already lost at this
Already
point.
lost.
There's other things in life that have more value than a paper.
Period. Because I know we've seen plenty of movies. I know there are movies and everything, but there's some truth behind a lot of movies. And you gotta think about it. One day, paper money, like especially with Bitcoin and everything going in, it might come a day where paper money is worthless. Right. And it doesn't matter how much of that you have, it's not gonna be worth anything anymore. And if you don't have Bitcoin or some kind of cryptocurrency, you broke.
And that goes to the beginning, man. You know, the value of money and what we look at it as. It can take us wherever we want it to take us. See, in mechanic terms, money is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
You got a wrench. That's the money, and you trying to unscrew a screw with a wrench.
With a wrench.
Ain't gonna happen.
You use your tools the wrong way.
Exactly. Like that is one tool that's supposed to suffice the world. No, it's not. Like you can't convince me that anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's other things that play a part, like agriculture. You know what I'm saying? Like my wife is growing tomatoes.
Yeah.
I would have never thought that. You know what I mean? Like I'd be like, man, that's a lot of tomato.
Man, when I tell you that we got our own things of what is it when we make it ourselves?
The compost?
The compost. Yeah, we do our own compost. And shit like that. We sit there and we grow all our stuff. We go on this porch and grab onions. As a matter of fact, they just grab strawberries off this porch.
That's
you know
what
what
On the patio.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? So we need and we talk about this all the time. How Earth, like you just talked about earlier, we messing up Earth. It produces everything that we need to survive without us doing shit.
Without us doing a damn thing,
Without
bro.
us doing anything.
You know what I mean? Like
And I realize once you connect back to the earth, though, on the positive side, that's eating your greens, treating everybody else right. You know, just being a good person. You will be rewarded.
exactly. Like that's just facts.
Bruh, that's lifespan.
Exactly.
That's happiness. That's being rich with your family. The world will reward you if you know.
And let's take it on a deeper logical explanation on what you just said. If you live in a life of, you know what I'm saying, like treating others accordingly, you know what I mean, like do better when it comes to actually interacting with people, who's actually going to die when they're doing good? And what I mean by that, like, if somebody is like on some thugger stuff, and my mind is, hey man, don't do that. Hey man, don't do that. Eventually they're going to stop doing that because my tone at them is like, it's not worth it. But if I'm like, hey man, what's good? What's the next thing you going to happen? Negative on negative is going to keep negative.
Yeah,
sir.
You know what I mean? Like you got to throw some type of positivity to bring that negative out. Think of math. If you're in a negative content, you have to give it more positivity in order for it to come back positive.
Right.
So there's a way for it to happen. They just told you that in math. There's a way to come back positive. It's just how you do it. You know what I mean? Like how much effort are you putting into it? If you at negative 50 and you only giving $30, you still negative.
You still negative.
You still negative.
Got work to do.
You got to put some work into that. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at it. Like, we've learned everything that we were supposed to learn. It's just the fact that the world never told us what to use it for.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you get older, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? In your ages where, you know what I'm saying, you're becoming an adult now, start learning what did you learn in school and how can I apply it to life?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, even your history.
But the thing is that people got to realize, and this is one thing that I try to get my stepson to understand. But I know everything in school that you're doing seems pointless and stupid and everything, but it's not meant for you to use in the world. It's meant for you to be able to use your brain in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
It's strength. This stuff that you're doing strengthens your brain and teaches you how to think critically, so that you can get yourself out of situations or figure out the best way to handle or go through or do any kind of situation that you come up on. Even if you don't know what you're doing in that situation, you're able to think down deep and get down deep behind all of that and try to find, just like you when it comes to the market, you got to find out what's making that motherfucker tick, and you got to keep on digging, and you got to keep on finding until you find what it is to you that's making it tick. Even if it's something different than whoever else is doing it, whatever it is to you that make that motherfucker tick and make that shit make sense to you is what you should be doing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's a cold piece
That
right there.
that hit the head right there.
Man, so let me go ahead and count this down. So again, like, man, what else you got going on?
Other than that, you know, a couple features, doing my R&B thing.
Now, any artists or anybody that you're working with right now that you want to shout out?
Shout out to Lucky. Like, we got this song right now, bro. I swear to God. Like, so when he brought me this song, like, me and him been kind of like going back and forth. Right?
Yeah.
And we did the first song, and then he just sent me one recent. And I haven't picked my pen back up for a minute because of the simple fact, you know, I was dealing with family.
Yeah.
So I heard the beat, I heard the message behind it. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, guys. The song is called Family Folk. You ready for it? Because I don't know what happened to my pen. But something happened to my pen. Like, something happened to me. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give it to y'all here. Like, y'all gonna hear not the actual beat, like what I wrote. Like, I never done this on the radio, or podcast. I've never done it.
Exclusive.
This is like the pre-exclusive. Like, it's not even me. All right, so the verse go. My question is, are you with Neff or Renee? Hop off the gas if you're not on my team. Always into some drama and causing a scene. Hating your blood that is not in my genes. On my enemies, nothing but targets to me. But irrelevant as soon as I'm gone off the weed, man. Y'all Vegas know that you don't hardly want beef. Fam, you not crazy, just hype off a bean. You are not my chick, so why you coming for me? Maybe it's cause every spot I'm a G. You should pump on your brakes, you know, match for my speed. Even with glasses, I'm harder to read. Once they hate on you most, they got cards up their sleeve. Watch how they move, cause they plotting the scheme just to set you up so they can rock you on tees. Move to the left if you're not up for weed. But I'm telling you, come on, it's a message. Like, bro, like the whole body. I said,
Vegans don't want beef. Vegans don't want beef.
You are not my chick, so why you coming for me? Like, that is, come on, man. Like, I'm on a whole different game right now, bro. Like,
I'm trying to tell you. I told y'all. And I'm not leaving here until I get this interview with my girl.
And like I said, I literally just wrote that, and I haven't wrote in 4 months. Tops.
It was meant for this interview.
It was meant for
this interview. That's all it was. I appreciate you for holding one for your boy.
Thank you for having me, man. Yeah, man.
I appreciate y'all. Like, we got my boy L. Dot over here sporting the new house.
Yes.
Sporting the new wife.
Man.
Sporting the new baby.
Live.
Handling his family business. This is proof to y'all. This is proof to y'all that y'all can go out here and y'all can do what it is that y'all truly want to do. Be happy. Be successful. And live a meaningful life off of it. There's other ways, like we said, in the market for you to go out here, for you to do some stuff that's working smarter instead of harder type things out here. And there's always different ways that you can go out here, you can learn. Hey, you got our information, you got any questions? Holla at us and we'll make sure that we put y'all on. You got anything else for Buddha Boo?
No, sir. Good to go.
Hey, for my brother Buddha Boo, and again, I appreciate you, L. Dot, for giving us your space, giving us your time, and getting us in here before you go to work.
Hey,
my
man,
brother, and with the new baby.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
With the new baby, appreciate it.
I'm gonna just leave him with this: eat knowledge, live better.
Hey. It's your boy Adonis with 2 eyes. One More Podcast. See y'all next time.
Hey.
Yeah, that was good, man.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah. I needed
That boy
that.
spit that thing.
May 20th was when I wrote that.
¿Qué es lo que mi gente? Soy Gerard Kenneth y soy el próximo por el Watch Me Work Podcast.
Hey.
Sí.